Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Dallas Daily Show. Today's a very special day here in the United States. It is Memorial Day. And we're going to talk just a little bit about that. We're going to remember our heroes. And then also, we're going to talk about the legacy that you're leaving as well. So let's go ahead and get into the conversation. Hey there, my friends. Today is Memorial Day here in the United States. And I took a little time and I actually went back and looked up the history of Memorial Day. And Memorial Day ultimately reminds us of those brave souls, those men and women who gave their life for a greater cause. But it also invites us to consider something else. What are we giving our life to, right? So we need some intention to live our lives forward. So today's episode is not just about honoring the past, although that's incredibly important, but it's also about this idea of living in a way that honors future you. So just as this idea of Memorial Day is this day of remembrance of specifically the legacy of sacrifice of brave men and women. And I went and I looked up the history of Memorial Day, and I went to the Veterans Administration, and at the very top of that page, there was this great quote from a Brevet Lieutenant Colonel Edmund Whitman. This was in 1868, because Memorial Day actually started as a day called Decoration Day in 1868. So following the Civil War, it was specifically called Decoration Day, and the practice was to go and to lay flowers on the graves of those who had given North and South, black and white, decorated soldiers to decorate their graves with floral honors. And so that happened in 1868. And General John Logan actually issued that order that there would be a Memorial Day Act or a Decoration Day Act. And it ended up Memorial Day didn't become Memorial Day and become a nationally recognized holiday until 1971. But there was this great quote that said, "That nation which respects and honors its dead shall ever be respected and honored itself." And there was another beautiful idea is that in the modern proclamation, the call is for U.S. citizens to, quote, observe Memorial Day by praying according to their individual religious faith for permanent peace. And I actually found that to be a really beautiful thing, that was part of the original proclamation, that you would pray according to your individual faith for permanent peace. What a way to honor those who gave their life it ultimately is to live in peace one with another. So I didn't want today to pass by without honoring that moment and honoring those who gave everything. But the truth is, if you're still breathing, it means that you still have something to give as well. So these folks who gave their life, right? They knew what would be remembered of them was that they fought for freedom, they fought for peace, they stood against tyrannies and they fought for a better world. What are we doing in our day and age? Right? Are we living, are the future you decisions that you're making today shaping you toward a same legacy, that you are living for an ideal? You are living to make an impact. You are living in such a way that you are progressively realizing in your own life a worthy ideal, right? See, these veterans, they wanted to be remembered. They wanted to do something righteous, and they wanted to do something that rippled throughout time. What about you? What are you giving your energy toward that could echo for years to come? See, so many times we think what I'm doing doesn't matter. And so many times we think, is this even worth it? I know that in my own life as a father, there are days that my wife and I look at each other. We're like, does any of this stuff that we're trying to do as parents, does it even matter? And then we get a call from another parent, or we get a call from a school teacher, and they say, hey, I just want you to know how awesome your kid is. Or I watch my 15-year-old make a decision that I go, man, that is working. We are having an impact. So where in your life are you making decisions, or where in your life, I guess, let's start here. Where in your life are you telling yourself what I'm doing doesn't matter? What could you shift there? What's one thing that you could say, actually, no, the thing I'm doing today is setting future me up for success. It's actually what I'm doing today, future me is going to thank me for. See, it's all about the trajectory, right, of the two different versions of us. So there's a version of you in the present that future you, if you continue on your current trajectory, future you is going to be like, man, I regret that I didn't do this. I regret that I didn't do that. And you're going to look back on your life with regret. There's also a future version of you that exists out there, a totally different one. That's the future you want to avoid. On the other side is a future you want to embrace. And that one is thanking you for the sacrifice you're making today, for going to the gym when you don't want to go to the gym, or playing with the kids, or spending the time with them, putting down the phone and actually being with other people. Future you is going to thank you for that. But it's going to require some sacrifice on your part. It's going to require the ease. It's going to require, what would be the way to say this? It's going to require that you sacrifice the ease of today in order for the values of tomorrow. What if you and I lived for the next 90 days as though the future us depends on it completely, as though this is the 90 days that matters most? Dallas was a person who sacrificed for his family, for his legacy, for those he leads in the Called to Success Academy, those in the Future You programs. Dallas left a legacy of helping people get on the right trajectory to become who they were supposed to be. What about you? Memorial Day started as Decoration Day and now is Memorial Day. What if you had your own legacy day? That starts today. So just consider that, my friends. The future you doesn't need a monument, right? But you do want to leave some momentum. Woo! That actually was pretty profound. I'm going to say that one again. Future you may not need a monument, but what you can leave is momentum. Yeah, that's it, my friends. Go out there, have a championship day.
Thanks for listening to my dad's podcast. For more tools, go to dallasdailyshow.com. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you.